Good morning and welcome to today's show. Now, in today's show, I wanted to go through the site that we've been building over the last couple of weeks, and it's almost there now. You know, it is live, so if you did want to go and see it, you can go to jasonkruger.live and you'll be able to see what the site is looking like at the moment, but also you'll be able to see the progression down the line as I still make a few updates and as the site gets populated with the blog posts, etc. So if you do want to have a look at that, go to jasonkruger.live. But today, in today's show, I wanted to go through the SEO and setting up analytics on the site. Now, I am not an SEO expert by any means, but I do know some of the basics that you want to have set up on your site when you first go live, so that you've at least got something on there. So that's what we're going to be going through in today's show. Hi, my name is Jason Kruger, and I help people wanting to build a business online by teaching them what is possible with the online marketing tech that they have at their disposal. And as I've said, I've been building a site live over the last 2 weeks or so. And if you do want to have a look at those videos, then please go and have a look on my YouTube channel, and you'll find them on there. So as I said, I'm going to be going through SEO on the site today, installing the plugins for that, as well as analytics. And I'm not using Google Analytics. I'm using another service called Fathom, and you can again look on my YouTube channel. I actually did a video on them last week where I show you why I've moved from Google Analytics. Fathom just makes it so much simpler to use, but also to understand the data as well. So that is why I've moved to them. So I'm going to go through actually setting that all up on the site today. And then we'll also just check the mobile responsiveness of the site, because nowadays most people are looking at your site using their mobile phones. So you do need to make sure that it is working properly on mobile phones and that people will be able to navigate it around it properly. Now, when you are building your site, yes, people say nowadays you need to build mobile first. But you know, when you're building a site, it's difficult just to try and build everything for mobile straight off. The way that I prefer to do it is still to build it so that it's viewable on desktop. But then once we've got the information on there, the layouts, etc., then I look at the mobile side of things to see what needs tweaking. Maybe there's some areas that need to be redone just for mobile, so that they do look good on mobile as well, and you have that proper functionality. So we'll be going through that as well. So let's have a look at the website. And as you'll see, I have now already made some changes to the site. I've added that thumbnail in there. I did end up changing the background for these sections, changed the photo. You'll see at the moment, because we've got those demo blog posts that we set up, that they are appearing here. So that's everything on there. The about page, not much has changed on there. Training, now this has changed. I've added in the new section here for the free online marketing tools membership. And if that is something that interests you, then please go to jasonkruger.com/free, where you can sign up to the free membership. And that just covers all the online marketing tools that you might be needing on that platform. It does have a lot of my YouTube videos on there, but they are properly searchable, not just through the title and description, but through the actual content of the video. So if there is something that you want some help with, then please do look to sign up to that. And then I also have my workshop, ActiveCampaign Without Trauma. I'm just in the process of setting up the new checkout system for this, and I'll probably do this on Friday if my schedule is correct. So we'll probably be covering that on Friday. So yes, setting up WooCommerce and checkout pages on Friday. So I'll be setting that up on the site so you can see how that's set up, and this will go to its proper sales page, and on there will be the checkout as well. So if that interests you, then please have a look on Friday. So that page has now been done. The blog, that is still a work in progress with adding more blog posts to. And then I've also added in the contact page. So that's now all functional. So overall, the site is ready to go, but we do need to set up those other bits and pieces. And I always do recommend that when your site goes live, you need to make sure that you have the WordPress SEO set up if you're using WordPress, because when it starts being shared around, you do want to make sure that it is showing up correctly. And the other major thing that you need to have is some sort of analytics. Now, as I said, I'm not using Google Analytics. I'm using Fathom, which is a paid service. But if you want to use Google, that's absolutely fine. But you do need to make sure that it is installed on your site so that you can start tracking the traffic to your site right from the beginning. So that's what we're going to do now. Is I'm going to go back into the back end of the site. So we're just on the normal dashboard. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install the 2 plugins that I'm going to be using. And the first one is going to be the SEO, and the plugin that I recommend is Yoast Seo. It has become the kind of industry standard, especially for WordPress, and it is the one that I recommend that you install, and I'm going to activate that. And while I'm here, the other one that I'm going to install is Fathom Analytics as well. Now, Fathom do give you the code that you can put on your website for the analytics, just as Google does. But if you do install their plugin, you can actually have your dashboard directly in the site, so you don't have to keep going to the Fathom site to check on your analytics. You can just log in to your WordPress site and it will be there as well. So we'll set this one up after we set up the SEO. And I'm just going to click on home just to make sure that it all pops up. So now we've got this new menu here called SEO, and we're just going to click on it. And once it's installed, it will sometimes give you some notifications on how you can, speed up your site or anything else like that. So you can see it will give you some menu items here that you can have a look at. And one of the things here that they have something called the data optimization, and we can just click on that to start that. And because it's a small site at the moment, it does this fairly quickly. Now you'll notice at the top here, it is saying that there's a huge SEO issue because I'm blocking access to robots. Now, this is kind of the crawling robots, etc. of Google and the other search engines. And when we first set up the site, in that first video, you would have seen me set it to block it. So first thing we'll do is we'll go back in here and go to reading. And you'll see this option here called search engine visibility. And I've ticked that to discourage search engines from indexing the site. While we were building it out and still making changes, we didn't want the site to be indexed, so we ticked that. So I'm now going to untick it and click on save. And I'm now going to go back into the SEO general settings, and you'll see that option has now disappeared. Other thing we can look at is the different features. And for most of these are the default features, and you can switch them on or off. For the moment, I'm just going to keep them all on. You'll see there are going to be some options that you won't be able to switch on because they are in the premium version. When you're first getting started, you don't really need to get SEO premium. You can just use the free version, but as you go along and you might need some of these other features, then by all means upgrade to the premium version. So I'm just going to leave those there for the moment. Integrations, they have these integrations which help you to write better content, etc. On your site. So we're just going to leave those on. And then Webmaster Tools. So this is where you can add your site to the Google Webmaster Tools area. They'll give you a code which you can then put in here, and then it verifies it. And that's something else that you can do to help with your SEO, because it will allow you to submit your sitemap and all of that to Google so that you get indexed faster. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to set up the other options for the moment, and I will then go ahead and do this in the near future as well. But if you're in here and you want to do it, then all you need to do is click on the Google Search Console, log into your account if you have a Google account, and then just follow the steps to add it. And I will probably do a standalone video on how to do that as well. So if that is something that you want to look at and something that you're interested in, then please do look to subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when I next post a video or when I next go live, and just make sure that you click on the notification bell as well so that you do actually get notified. Now, the next option in SEO is the search appearance. So you can go in here and change what your separators are going to be. The default is just the dash. And you can go in here as well and make any changes here. So this is the metadata for your site. So it's Google's knowledge graph. So you can either set yourself as an organization or a person, and then you can select your user from here. You just need to make sure that you have set up your user profile correctly, so you've filled in the information in there, because that will then appear here as well. So just a few things that you need to go through, and to do that, just go to users, look at your own profile, and then you can go in here and then just put in your name and all your other details in here, and then any other of your social media profile links and things like that, profile photo. Now I'm using Gravatar, so it's already pulled that through, but on the SEO settings you can go in there and upload a new photo if you want. So if I go back to search appearance, content types. Now, again, most of these are all going to be default settings, which you do not need to change. But if you do, you can go in here. So this is going to be the default SEO page title for all your pages. They have just got all these variables in here so that it populates it automatically. So a lot of that is already going to be populated for the site. But if you wanted to change how it's done, you can go in here and change this so that you insert different variables. Media, just default options in there. The taxonomies, again, all the different kind of categories, etc. you can put in here and make those changes. Now normally I just leave these as the defaults for the moment. Breadcrumbs, RSS, all of that is in here. The next option is social. So this is where you will go and put in all your social accounts. So you can go in and do all of that in there. Facebook, you can put a default image as well. And in Twitter, you can just decide what type of card you want to use, a summary with a large image or just a summary. And then Pinterest as well. And then they have all of these tools. Now, you don't really need to have a look at any of these tools if you're just starting out. They have a bulk editor, which means that you can go in and make changes to all your pages all at once if you so wish. So if I click on that, it will now bring out all the content that I have on the site. But if I just want to do pages, I can just click on that and filter. And I can go in here now and change what the SEO titles are going to be. So as you can see, there's some in here. If you've got one, you can see what the existing SEO title or the Yoast SEO title is, and then you can change it in here and just click save. So you can just go in here and do it on bulk, and you can do that for posts as well. And then you can go and do the descriptions while you're at it, because you will need to do the descriptions. Now, while we're on here, what I'm going to show you is an article for both of these. Now, these are both are on the Yoast website, and I will update the description to this video and put those links in there. And in here, they actually tell you how to craft the great page titles for SEO. So it's a great article on here on telling you exactly what it is, and what is a page title, and that's what all of this is basically there for when you are indexed by Google, what shows up in those results. Because at the end of the day, you want people to click on those links to go to your website. So this is where you would craft those page titles and descriptions. So if you do want to have a look at that, I will post the links in the description, but it's just yoast.com/page-titles-SEO. So if you do want to have a look at that, then please do. It's a great article on what you need to do for page titles, and they also have one on how to create the right meta description, and that again is just at yoast.com/meta-descriptions. So if you do want to have a look at that, please do. And again, they tell you what the descriptions are, and that's just that little description that comes under the title, and it tells you the type of information you should put in there. So if you're not too sure, then have a look at those two articles, because they will help you with your titles. And then you've got your premium option in here. We don't have premium, so we're not going to do that. If you don't go through these tools and go to the bulk editor to update your titles, etc., you can just do it through the pages. So if I go to one of the pages, so I'm just going to look at the list of pages here, and let's have a look at my home page, and I'm going to just click on edit. And what you'll notice now is a few different options. So you can see here, it's giving you some information about the readability of the content, and then the SEO analysis as well. So to do this at the moment, this is what my SEO title looks like. If someone had to look at this on a mobile result, as a mobile result, with the description and then an image that it's just pulled off that page. And then if I look at the desktop result, this is what it looks like. Now, to change this, all I need to do is click on this SEO title here and make the changes there, and I add my description. The other thing that I can do is click on here where it says focus key phrase and add in the keyword or the keyword phrase that I want to use. And this is what will be used to have a look at your SEO to see if you've got those keywords on the page. And then it will also then give you suggestions on what you need to do to improve it. So SEO title here, I'm going to just select these here and then the backspace to delete it. And then I can go and craft my title. So let's just choose something for the moment. Online marketing tools training. I can then also put in a description, and what they do say on the Yoast description is you do want to have some kind of call to action in there, but you also want it to just read properly and not just keyword stuff, the description, because that's not going to help you at all. And Google might not even show it. So again, keep it up to 155 characters, use an active voice and make it actionable. So as an example, let's say here, get motivated to design the home of your dreams with our inspiring looks and practical decorating tips. So that's your active voice. And then on their option here for a call to action, they're using their own example. This SEO copywriting training will really take you by the hand and guide you through every step of writing an SEO friendly blog post. Get it now. So that's how they suggest writing it. I'm just going to write something in here. So struggling with the online marketing tools. So I take you by the hand to help you. Visit now. Now it's probably saying here that it's not long enough. So struggling with online marketing tech tools, shall we say. And just to show you what it does, if you put in here online marketing tech, and then I can just get related key phrases as well. Now I don't have an account with them at the moment, so I'm not going to get any related key phrases at the moment, but that's there. Online marketing tech tools training. Struggling with the online marketing tech tools, I can the sound a bit better. I take you by the hand to help you learn what is possible. If I can type possible, I take you by the hand to help you learn what is possible. Let's see how to implement. So there we go. So that's my meta description. It's green, so they seem to like that. And my SEO analysis is good now. So I can go to the SEO analysis in here, and you'll see that it's now giving me a bit of an analysis on that page. So it's telling me that I need to have this key phrase in some of my subheadings on that page, and some other improvements on here. But everything else they do like. So that's a good start. Readability. There isn't a lot of text on that page at the moment, but they get again giving me some pointers. Schema, I'm just going to leave it as it is. And then social. Now with social, this is what's going to appear when someone shares your page on Facebook or Twitter, for example. So I can go in here and actually select the image that I wanted to use. I can also then change the Facebook title. So if I don't want it to be the same as this page, I want it to be a bit more actionable maybe on Facebook, I can put that in here, and the same with the description. And then do the same with Twitter, so that when someone shares my content or shares my website on one of these platforms, it's displaying how I want it to display. So that's where you will change that information. So for the moment, if I go back to the SEO, that's what my page is going to look like. on a desktop, and that's what it's going to look like on mobile. I could go into advanced and just see what's in here. So there's a lot of different things about links and breadcrumbs and all of that. I'm not using any of that. I'm just going to leave the advanced section alone for the moment. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to click on update. And that's all it takes. So if you are building your own website or you need to do some SEO on it, this is how I would suggest you start. Get the Yoast Seo plugin installed, especially if you're using a WordPress website, and then go in and make sure that you've got your SEO titles and descriptions set for all your pages. And if you've got blog posts, make sure that that's done for those as well, because it will help with your SEO. And especially if they're giving you pointers on how to structure some of the content, do follow those, because that will help with your SEO. And as a starting point, that's where I will start. Yes, you can. There's so much other stuff that you can do for SEO. And as I said, I'm not an SEO expert, but I do know the basics. And this is where I would start to make sure that you are starting correctly, and you're at least getting some SEO work done yourself. You know, you can always go and improve it as you get better at writing the page titles and the descriptions. You can always go back and make those changes. It all helps. So once that's done, the other thing that I wanted to show you today is installing Fathom. And that's the analytics for the site. Now, you might have seen me post a video last week about Fathom and why I'm moving away from Google Analytics and moving to Fathom. And this is the Fathom dashboard for my other site. I haven't got a lot of content on there at the moment. That's why, you know, some of these figures aren't the greatest. You know, I haven't been really pushing it for the moment, but that is going to have a bit of an overhaul and other content on there. So then I do expect these numbers to change. But as you can see, the dashboard is so much easier to look at and get information that is going to be relevant to you. So I'm going to go in now and I'm going to add a new site. So when I go here, I will have a new option called Analytics. Now I just need to make sure that Fathom is actually set up on here, because that analytics is actually to do with WooCommerce. So I'm just going to go into settings, and I've got Fathom Analytics there, and now it's just asking me for the site ID, and then they have a thing here called a shared password, so that will then allow me to display the dashboard on the website. So I'm going to go back into Fathom here, and I'm going to create a new site, and I'm going to call this Jason Kruger Live. I'm now going to create that site, and now it's given me my site ID, and as you can see, it's giving you different options on which system you actually want to install it on. So there are plenty others in there. If it's not listed in there, you just need to get the embed code. Because I'm using WordPress, I'm just going to select WordPress, and it's now giving me the instructions of what I need to do. So now all I'm going to do is go back into my site and install the site ID, click on Save Changes. Now that's all done. That's all you have to do to install it on your site. And again, the main reason that I like Fathom over Google Analytics is that you do not need to use a cookie banner for Fathom Analytics. You do need it if you're using Google Analytics. So it's just something else that you do need to think about when you are installing Google Analytics on your site. You do need to make sure that you covered for the cookies that it is using on the site. So now that I've got that on there, I just go back to my account and I can say verify site code. And normally if I just go in here and just reload the site, go to another page, this will pick it up. Now, the issue that I have been having with this site a little bit, especially when I've been building it, is that SiteGround does use a caching plugin, and sometimes it doesn't seem to refresh correctly. So let me see if I can just refresh that myself through my account. And this always happens when you're doing a live demo. So let's see, can we get it to fire? Once it's installed and working correctly, then you won't have any issues especially if you are using some sort of caching. So if you're having issues, all you need to do is just wait, because it will start firing correctly. Let's just open it up in another browser and just let's hope we can get it to pick up. The other thing that you might have, if you are having issues, is you might need to clear your browsing data in your browser, which is now what I'm doing on another laptop. And then when I go to the site, it will then pick up the latest copy. And there we go. That's all I had to do, and it's now picked up that it's got the tracker installed. So now I'm just going to go to the dashboard, and it's picked up that visitor, which is myself, and it was on a Chrome browser. So that's now installed, and it's now going to start tracking the visitors. Now, as I said, I do want to have this dashboard within my site. So I'm just going to go to the settings for the site. And I can now set it to the site sharing to private. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hide this because it's going to give me a password that I can put in there. So I'm just going to do that. So what I've done is I've entered a password on the Fathom site, and I've entered it in here. Now I have entered it in here. I've already clicked save. I've just removed it because it doesn't actually hide it. So I don't want that to be displayed. And now that I've got that done, I also made sure that this was ticked, which was display analytics menu item. Now I'm just going to refresh and make sure that that is working, because the issue I have at the moment is because I have these settings from WooCommerce. It's now giving me two analytics. So you can see that's the WooCommerce one, and that's the analytics. And I'm just going to remember that this one, because it's under products, needs to refers to WooCommerce. So I'm going to click on analytics there. And as you can see, I now have my dashboard directly on my site. So now I do not have to go and visit my Fathom dashboard on their site to see the data. I can just log into my site and see it all there. Now, I hope that you have enjoyed this. It's been a little bit of a, probably for some, a boring topic, but it is something that you do need to have on your website. And I will be posting other videos, so please do look to subscribe and click on the notification bell to get notified of future videos and when I next go live. The other thing I just wanted to quickly go through as well is mobile responsiveness of your site. And the reason this is important is because most people now will view your website on a mobile device. So it is important that your website is going to look good on mobile devices. And as I said, when I start building out the site, I do use the desktop, because for me as a developer building out these sites, it's easier for me to see it on a desktop. But I always make sure that it is working on a mobile device and making tweaks. And the thing is, with using Beaver Builder as well as my page builder, and you'll have this option in other page builders as well, is if there are sections of the site that don't look good on mobiles, I can set it to only display on a desktop, and then I can redesign that section so that it looks good on mobile, and only have that section display when people are viewing it on a mobile device. Now, there are a few different ways that you can check the mobile responsiveness of your site. The first way of doing it is just through your mobile phone. Go to the site, see what it looks like on mobile, on your mobile, and see if it looks good to you, if all the functions are working correctly, that people will be able to see what it is that you're doing. The other option is just through your web browser. And at the moment I've got this full width of my screen, and I can just select it so that it is not, and I can then adjust the width myself. And what you can then do is start making it smaller so you can see what it's going to look like on different devices. So this is one view that it might look like on an iPad or another tablet, for instance. And as you go down, you're probably looking at this as your mobile phone. So this is what people are going to see on a mobile device. So you can go through here and have a look and see, well, does it look good? Can people still navigate around it? Are my calls to actions kind of viewable? Do they work? Etc. And then look at the navigation. Can they navigate around my site? You know, this is all important information. So that's another way to check for mobile responsiveness of your website. And it is very important to make sure that you are checking this, because Google will penalize you if your site doesn't work correctly on a mobile device. So it is important that you check this out. So I hope you've enjoyed these tips today. Subscribe to the channel if you want to receive notifications of any future videos that I produce, as well as when I next go live. My live schedule is Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. UK time. So join me then if you want to ask questions live. And if you do have any questions regarding anything that I've covered today, or if there's something that I've missed that you want some more information about, please leave a comment down below and I will make sure that I answer it for you. And if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up as well. It really does help the channel. So I hope you have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you on Friday.